stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcome you to this week's Spot Show live stream. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully everybody had a good week. Before I get too started in this week's episode, a few things we got lined up. We're going to talk about Seth Rollins, Grayson Waller sticking up for the business, a little bit about the Mace Mace opening up at the Retribution storyline, some WWE 2K24 news, not much, and going to talk about Bobby Eaton of the Midnight Express. Let me do the usual spiel here, or sales pitch here. If you like it, click the like button, leave a comment, and leave a comment in the chat with your questions and comments. And we'll get more of those once we do the open forum section of the show. Anything you want to talk about, current stuff, classic wrestling stuff, save those for the open forum, and we'll get to those. Actually, I sometimes go off the beaten path, talk about other things besides wrestling. So you never know what's going to happen. Also, share with friends and be a champion. Hit that subscribe button. This is so much easier where I can click stop and redo this. But anyway, how's everybody's week going? Here in Georgia and a few other places, it's been cold. Double socks, thermals on, jackets on, skull cap, or not skull caps, boggin hats on, with the hood up. Man, it's been that cold. Not fun when you have to work outside and it's cold. Been raining too, so that's kind of been a sort of a pinch in the wallet, but not too much, since they do find things to keep me busy. Let's see here. So far, nobody. I don't see nobody in the chat yet. Anyway, let's get right on to it. Talking about Seth Rollins. Apparently, Seth Rollins has been bitten with an injury bug himself. He's been working hard on. That's all I can say about it. I've been working with a back injury. A few months ago, he was wrestling a match and it looked like he tweaked his knee a little bit, and looked like he kind of hurt his knee again come Monday night, delivering the pedigree onto Jinder Mahal. That was a decent match. Let me kind of digress a little bit. The WWE Raw recap and AEW Dynamite I will do tomorrow, because like I said, even though it has been raining, kind of been a busy week. But anyway, so from Wade Keller at the Wrestling Torch, he's been reporting on this, and one of the last things he said, basically, nobody really knows the severity of the injury yet, but one of the last things he said was connected some of the dots. I am thinking it's not good news. Apparently, he's getting his information from an unnamed wrestler from the back, but I don't know how bad the news is. The reason is that I've asked a bunch of people, and some of who would likely be privy to what's going on who won't comment. I understand there's internal policies on that, but I would think if he was fine and he walked it off, then we'd be hearing that. Now, it's possible they're going to do a story on television because the news of Seth's injury has gone crazy. I don't know how many dozens of websites quoted my breaking news story on Monday night, but obviously people who are on social media and Reddit know that about the fact that he is legitimately hurt. and limping backstage, and everyone quoted my reports on that. They could be doing a storyline where they're going to play into that on TV and going to go from a situation where it says knee is not as bad and play it up as if it is some sort of storyline. So I'm throwing it out there as a caveat to the hunch that I'm gaining from my colleagues of this and other people in WWE. They either think it's bad news and WWE is probably going to have, or WWE is going to probably have Seth Rollins announce something on TV, or just waiting for more test results to get something more definite, definitive, excuse me. But they want to control the narrative on him at this point because people who aren't, because of people who are not commenting. So we really don't know who, or we don't really know the severity of the injury yet. Like I said, there's been a couple times I've seen, Seth Rollins on TV look like he kind of hurt a little bit and kind of walked it off there, but he has, he's had tears in his ACL before and knee injuries. Of course, the style of wrestling he does, and I kind of noticed, he has moving a little slower lately. Let's see. In the comments, we got Joe King, Brendan Watson, Karen Poole. How y'all doing? Um, that sounded well. I do got cornbread accent, so I can say how y'all doing. But yeah, so far we do not know the severity of this injury. Hopefully it ain't bad. But of course, when you hear stuff like this, um, you come up with little ideas. What might sound cool. It sounds cool in my head. Like I said, we're all fans here. Sounds cool in my head. Not really sure what they're going to do with it, or what they're going to do. That's why we watch, because we don't know what's going to happen. But me personally, I think it would be cool if he is legitimately hurt. Go ahead and let Damian Priest cash in the Money in the Bank, win the heavyweight or World Heavyweight Championship, because they do call it the World Heavyweight Championship there. Go ahead and have Damian win, face CM Punk at WrestleMania, then have the rest of the Judgment Day turn against Damian Priest, side with CM Punk, and help CM Punk win the world title. How do you folks like that idea? Let's see what we got here. I've got to shut this phone off while I'm doing stuff like this. But oh, it's just Gmail, junk mail. Anyways, so yeah, how you folks feel about that idea? Maybe I mean, even though I am kind of totally against CM Punk actually winning the world title, deeply I would rather have, if Damian Priest is in there, have him beat CM Punk. But, uh, that's the reason I'm a fan. I'm not getting paid good money on, or I ain't getting paid to be a booker. But to me, that sounds like a hell of an idea. That way, if fans, give the reason the fans draw interest from the fans, give them a reason to boo CM Punk for winning the world title if they kind of turn on him winning the world title. But excuse me, like I said, WWE, they still call it the World Heavyweight title or World Heavyweight Championship. Anyways, but yeah, that's my idea. And hey, if you do that idea, I want a cut of it. Anyway, just kidding. Speaking of WWE people, apparently on this talk show in Australia called Sunshine, one of the interviewers asked LA Knight to, hey, could you use one of those finishers on me? And they kind of played it off a little bit. But it got really interesting when Knight passed the chance to Grayson Waller. Then some camera guy or studio hand came up and acted like he wanted to be the next John Stossel. Let me see if this video plays. You guys in the chat, let me know if you hear it and see it, but here it goes.
One of your signature finishing moves?
Can I give you one?
Yeah, can you, like, not me.
I'll just be over
But
here.
can you
while-
show us one of your moves?
No, I think it
Like in the
actually just
studio?
showed on the screen there. If I do that, it's not going to be a good
Maybe
day for
someone in,
anybody.
like our floor manager, maybe he seems
Well,
to
actually, our floor manager's leaving this week.
Yeah.
And he's sort of, I don't know if...
That's not for me. You want to go ahead and take this one?
Look,
I'm trading normies, but
you.
check out our boy Grayson Waller.
I don't think you understand. Like, if I come over there right now, we're gonna have the police here because I'm not gonna give you some fake punch. Like, I'm gonna punch you straight in the jaw. The disrespect that you have even talking to me. No, you want to talk to me like this ain't real. I got no. Don't act all tough, lad. Don't act all tough.
I'm going to get in the middle of this. You keep back. You keep back. Get him out of there. You get out of there. You get out. I'm so sorry.
No, don't know too much. You guys come here trying to disrespect us. Are you kidding me?
I'm not disrespecting you.
You're all right, mate. No, we love you. Yeah.
Hey, you take that trash talk and you get out of here. Hey, you get out of here. You take that trash talk. You get out. I won't have these guests disrespected like that, Mitch. You get out.
I never thought you were tough.
Now, can you wrap this up?
Hold your pants tight. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming in. So,
Yeah, so I don't know how well that played. This is the first time I try to use a video footage. Hopefully, they don't kick me off of here. But yeah, man, Grayson Waller sticking up for the business, and he said, "Dude, you know, I'm going to punch you for real. Keep playing around." Basically, is what he said. So yeah, mad respect for Grayson Waller there for, like I said, sticking up for the business. People want to make a joke about it. Hey, we'll make a joke about it, but last person who want to make, it seems like everybody wants to make a joke about it. Usually, all right, good, play good. That's what I wanted to see. Like I said, this is the first time I tried, using any kind of footage for anything on here. So, good. But definitely proud of our boy Grayson Waller for, like I said, sticking up for a business. And I'm been impressed with him and Austin Theory as a tag team. Looks like Austin Theory got injured on the last SmackDown show. Hopefully it's not too bad. And like I said, I wish they let Grayson Waller and Austin Theory go for the tag belts. I think they'd be a pretty good tag team, and they're just hilarious together. Very entertaining together. That's what I feel. But how you guys feel about Grayson Waller sticking up for the business there? Let's see. What else we got here? A little short story about Mace here. He was part of the faction called Retribution, headed by Mustafa Ali, had Mia Yim in the group, a few other people. I think half of them probably done got released. This is during the part where, the COVID-19 pandemic was going on. A lot of other things were going on. And kind of, I honestly will say I didn't care watching any wrestling at this point, except for, of course, old wrestling. But one of the things he mentioned here, and from the show he was talking to about, I think he was on, I want to say Jericho. Was it Jericho's? I can't find it right now. But anyway, he said regarding the faction's political undertones, Madden shared Retribution was intended to mirror the Antifa movement at the time. However, Fox Network, of all people, Fox, the network airing SmackDown, realized the angle and they requested for a halt. This led to a shift in the group's direction, including adoption of a supervillain mask. Mace expressed his desire for the group to embrace the Power Rangers-like persona despite the chaotic presentation. On the disbanding of Retribution, Mace acknowledged the faction struggled to gain attraction, internal reluctance and lost interest of creative team hindered their progress. Again, this is when there was no crowds. They had the Thunderdome thing going on, but what little I did watch this, I just didn't really see Mustafa Ali as a leader of anything. more or less the underdog type character, um, but Mustafa Ali, they gave you an opportunity, but um, didn't go too well. Anyway, keep going here. Mace, he also noted the unique challenge of performing during a Thunderdome era without a live audience to gauge reactions. Made expressed curiosity about how different the audience responses might have influenced the group's direction, but lamented on that this remains an unknown due to the circumstances. Yeah. Um, yeah. You talking about going to make him a baby? You talking about Grayson Waller? Yes. Uh, or yeah, Grayson Waller. Yeah, that definitely gets me to cheer for him. I mean, I don't know about anybody else. Uh, hey, yeah, yeah. Call up Dr. D, Davy Schultz, let him be his, Grayson Waller's manager. Yeah, Mace. Yeah, this. Yeah, I think they all got released at one time, and like I said, Mia Yin was a you know name, and that, like I said, Mustafa Ali was a name. Like I said, I just what little I did watch, which wasn't much at all, but when I read about it and seeing that Mustafa Ali was the leader, I even if I was watching, I'd be like, I'm not gonna buy this. He's more of a underdog, little guy type deal, not a leader of some you know movement, some bowel movement. Uh, yeah, he didn't need it. Peter Bread, he didn't need to prove himself. Classical punk move. Yeah, I say the stagehand was acting a little bit like a punk. Uh, yeah, he just. Now I could be wrong. I mean, I've never really seen like interviews with stunt people and them, running down, hey, uh, do one of your stunts on me. Can I do one of your stunts or something like that? Uh, they don't really make fun of actors because they're artists. They're entertaining artists. Uh, but yeah, this now this another like talk show here in Australia. Got this guy kind of mocking the business and stuff like that, and or their stagehand anyway. Um, that could have been kind of a work too, kind of a work shoot type deal because they did play John Cena's theme music in the background to kind of lighten the mood a little bit. Um, let's see how far am I ahead of everybody? Let's see. Let me let me type a question in the chat. See how quickly I'll get it. Uh, next subject. Jay Briscoe. You know what? Let me kind of skip talking about WWE 2K. That was going to be like the next on my list. But let me. Yeah, we don't know if it's a work or not. Um, because it didn't look like he was working too much. That one male interviewer, he was like, "Hey, dude, yeah, okay, hunt's over. Get out of here." Um, anyway, let me oops, screwed up there. Anyway, 1 year ago, unfortunately, we lost a really good performer here by the name of Jay Briscoe. True talent to the business. Unfortunately, did pass away in a car accident. Uh, his $2 was with him at the time of the accident, and they were both injured. And what the heck is going on here? You're messing up. You're messing up the deal here, dude. There we go. Anyway, yes, we lost Jay Briscoe. Guy found my editor now. My producer. My producer is going to be fired. Anyway, take two. Yes, 1 year ago we lost Jay Briscoe in a car accident. Unfortunately, also his $2 was in his truck with him. They both were pretty badly injured. I think at the time they said the oldest one might never walk again. Yes, it's sad that we did lose Jay Briscoe a year ago, but had some good news today. If you did watch Dynamite, some spoilers from there. Mark Briscoe came out talking about how lost his partner and brother, and mentioned that his oldest niece. They say she couldn't walk again, but here she is. She did walk out to the stage area. I think it almost looked like her brother, I believe, was helping her out a little bit. That great AEW production there. They decided to shoot the crowd instead of film her coming out. But looked like she might have had a little bit of trouble and getting a little bit of help. Just had a glimpse while watching it of when she did come out. But looks like both daughters are fine. Ron, don't go challenging the wrestlers at the local shows you go to. I don't. Don't worry. You ain't got to worry about that with me. But anyway, but yeah, it looks like they're doing fine right now. At least physically. But she was able to stand there. She was leaning on her brother a little bit. Like I said, that camera work. I don't know who called that one. Hate to sit there and bash their production, but this is good news. She is at least able to somewhat get around herself to that, at least stand there. Takes a while. You go from not being able to walk to learning how to walk again and all that good stuff. But looks like she's getting there, getting better. So yeah, this is definitely good news for the Briscoe family. Both girls are okay. Like I said, unfortunately, they did lose Jay, but no, it really would have been a sad situation if we lost all three. But at least they're still around and doing fine. So that is some good news coming out of the Briscoe house, or the Briscoe family. That they are fine. So well wishes to them as they keep getting better, keep getting healthier, and try live their life past this tragedy. It can be hard. I know a lot of people probably out there have been through that, lost a parent, lost friends, and stuff like that. It's a hard thing to go through. So just remember, I don't want to be too what's the word I'm looking for? Sympathetic or anything like that. But just remember, when you lose a loved one, when they're looking down on you, they're not wanting you to fold up and quit. They want you to keep going, and hopefully these two girls, they know that their dad's looking at them, looking over them, and wanted them to continue and have the best life that they can and enjoy it. But anyway, let's go past that. Let's get the sappy stuff out of the way. WWE 2K24 people at 2K Games recently tweeted tweeted out this graphic image here on their social media channel and updated their account bio to hint that more information about WWE 2K24 will be coming out on January 22nd, 2024. 2K23, I thought was pretty good. Whole lot better than 2K20. That was or was it 2K21? One of them was like really bad. I think they tried to do new stuff. It just didn't really mesh well. And that's, I don't play online too much, hardly at all, if any. But apparently the people who do play a lot online, it was real glitchy and stuff like that. And it was a little glitchy here. 23 had its moments too, but see what I used to do when games came out, especially like the Maddens and the WWE games, WCW games. I'd always, especially like new systems too. New systems, I will usually wait like a year before I buy one. A, because the prices come down a little bit, and B, usually the first ones out of the out on production, the first models that are usually are pretty glitchy. Usually got problems. That way, I wait at least a year. They, eliminate some of those glitches and stuff like that. Same way with games too. Back when you didn't download games, it's all physical media. Which I think they're getting to the point now to, everything's downloaded now. I don't have a PS5 yet. Those things are still, prices of those things are still very high, and unfortunately I don't play video games as much as I used to. Would love to, but speaking on the subject of, let me just um, let me try to butter somebody up. Maybe Joe King and buy it probably about the same time I do, and maybe join in on a live stream playing of WWE 2K24. Yeah, he just said 2K20, so he probably didn't hear me on that one. Because I never did that. And that's another thing. If you're listening here, leave a comment or reach me somehow about possibly how do you do the whole stream video game. I'm probably sure I can look on YouTube and figure it out, or do a live stream of playing a video game. That's a little high tech for me. Yeah, sounds good. I gotta keep talking them into it. Gotta talk them into it. Because it's probably ain't gonna come out till what, March or April around WrestleMania when they put it out. So yeah, maybe I might try to do the live stream playing of a video game. I actually got a headset too. It's collecting dust. Yeah, I got a little drawer that I keep video game stuff, and got a headset in there, and I think I've used it once or twice, and that's it. It's collecting dust. Gotta clean it up and everything. But yeah, I do got a headset. But man, I'll save a little more of the video game talk a little bit later. Speaking of friends and stuff like that, a friend of mine, Joe, sent me this picture today. There's me, him, and the legend himself, beautiful Bobby Eaton. He came down to Cornelia, Georgia for one of the NWA Wildside Friday night shows. I forgot what they named it. But it was him and Rick Michaels versus, please correct me if I'm wrong, him and Rick Michaels versus Jason Blackman and Todd Sexton. Did I get that right? Uh, he was kind of running late. The story is that he don't, uh, well, I mean, he's passed away now, but he never did give himself a cell phone or GPS or anything like that. Uh, did it old school style with maps, but I think he's, got in a little bit of traffic, Atlanta, he's coming from Alabama. He's got to go through Atlanta to get to Cornelia. Probably hit that Atlanta traffic. Uh, but he got there, suited up, had a good match with him, and stayed. Stayed, and everybody who went up to him to sign autographs and do pictures like we did. I wish I need to look around see if I can find that picture, because I actually got a Polaroid picture somewhere of that night. But I will say, him and Brad Armstrong probably were the two nicest pro wrestlers you'd meet. Very cool. But let's see. So in my little old school talk, I want to talk a little bit about beautiful Bobby Eaton. Let me get around here. He started his career, first match. Actually, he got started in the business at 13 years old, helping set up the rings for George Goulas. And then he wound up getting trained by, uh-oh, there's a young Bobby Eaton. Probably around his first match here. And actually, this was in 1979. But he was trained by Tojo Yamamoto, and at 17 years old, had his first match. Of course, he lost against the Mid-American champion at the time, Bearcat Wright. Um, but he kept with it, did pretty good, and Nick Goulas decided to have his son George Goulas team with Bobby Eaton. They were called the Jet Set. Had feuds with Tojo Yamamoto and Pistol Pez Watley, the Hollywood Blondes, Jerry Brown and Buddy Roberts. This is before, Freebird Buddy Jack Roberts. Yeah, same person, but this is before he became a Freebird. He would later team with Leaping Lanny Poffo, going against, Gypsy Joe and Leroy Rochester. But did a lot of things with George and Nick Goulas' promotion. Went on to the Memphis territory and joined Jimmy Hart's family, teaming a lot with Coco Beware. Again, you want to watch some good, even though the tape or the filming is really dated and everything, just watch the wrestling, especially with Coco Beware and Bobby Eaton here. I say if these people were here today, those guys would be over like Rover. Definitely would have been able to hang with anybody in AEW or WWE. Peter Brad, how long ago was that pick? 2004. So, is that what? I believe that's what it was. 2004. Yeah. And some reason I had more collar shirts than I think. And the girls that I was dating at the time, she would always buy me, you know, polo shirts. So that's the reason I had like a collar shirt on all the time, not just a regular T-shirt. But but yes, he would join Jimmy Hart's family here. This time looks like the Angel there, Dennis Condrey. Look at that young guy, Sheiky baby. Guy we lost last year, Norville Austin. Actually, later on, Norville Austin would team up with Coco Beware as the PYTs. And of course, there was another territory, Louisiana, Oklahoma territory, Mid South, operated by Bill Watts. and the story was that his territory was not doing so well lately, then he asked Jerry Lawler and Jerry Jarrett, the owners of the Memphis territory, at that time, Continental Wrestling Association, went over there and don't know if I can say what Jerry Lawler basically looked around and said, "Hey, where the BJ's at?" I can say BJ's, right? Where the BJ's at? And Watts just looked at him and said, "What?" Lawler was like, "Hey, where's the BJ's at?" And Bill was like, "Go talk to the other boys about that. I was want y'all to look at my territory and uh, see what see what I can do. Give me some advice on how to fix this. And go to dinner. I ain't worried about getting y'all BJ's." Then Jerry Lawler was like, "No, no, no. Where are all the BJ's? You got your hardcore fans out here. You got and this is actually Ricky Morton's interview. Talk about this. You had your baby faces, 6'5", ugly as hell. You had your heels, 6'5", ugly as hell. Nobody's bringing the young girls in. So, Bill Watts went to Memphis and said, "Hey, let's do a trade of talent." Bill Watts got Ricky and Robert, who were already the Rock and Roll Express at the time. Jim Cornette really wasn't doing much. He was basically second banana to Jimmy Hart. He grabbed Bobby Eaton, Dennis Condrey, and said, "Hey, what's a good name for this team here?" And Dennis Condrey was like, "Well, me, Randy Rose, and Norville Lawson we called ourselves the Midnight Express. Perfect." I think who did Memphis get? Like a Mr. Ito or something like that. Hacksaw Higgins, uh, and a young, wet behind the ears, green as grass, Rick Rude. So, uh, yeah, probably saying here was Bill Watts got the best end of that deal. They got Bill Dundee to book and Jim Cornette to be their manager. Again, check out early Mid-South Midnight Express. They had a huge success wherever they went. Like I said, I went to the Mid-South territory, got the Mid-South tag belts. We'll trade those back and forth with Rock and Roll Express a lot. And that's where, basically their bread and butter feud was with the Rock and Roll Express. Everywhere, they went, everywhere the Rock and Roll went, the Midnights went, except for World Class. They did spend a little time in World Class, but they finally did venture into the NWA, Jim Crockett Promotions, and defeat the Rock and Roll Express for the NWA World Tag Team Championships. And of course, lost them back to the Rock and Roll Express. Something happened along the way. Dennis decided to leave. Then Dennis was replaced with former Fabulous One member Stan Lane. They decided to call him Sweet Stan Lane. And of course, more success came to them. They became U.S. Tag Team Champions and then became NWA World Tag Team Champions. They were the first team ever to win the U.S. Champions or be U.S. Champions and World Tag Team Champions at the same time. And of course, they had a rule: you had to give up one of the titles. You couldn't keep both. Mace. That's something that makes sense. But yeah, they would have lots of success. Then Stan Lane and Jim Cornette, they decided to leave what was then called WCW. This is when Jim Crockett sold to Ted Turner, and they changed the name to WCW. A guy named Jim Hur was in there. More on that some other time. But Bobby Eaton was alone. Got a pretty good singles push here. Him and Arn Anderson had a match for the World Television Championship at the first Super Bowl Brawl. Excuse me. And of course, you see he did win that. Later on, we'll go back to being a heel, being a member of the Dangerous Alliance. Of course, he would wind up losing that TV championship to that kid right there in the robe. and the long blonde hair. Um, at the time, he was stunning Steve Austin, but he grew up and became stone cold and did pretty good for himself. Also consisted of Larry Zbyszko, Arn Anderson, of course, Rick Rude, and of course managed by Paul E. Dangerously. And of course, people now call him Paul Heyman, his real name. Him and Arn Anderson became WCW World Tag Team Champions. Um, I think this is like the last major thing he really did. He became a member of the Blue Bloods. Uh, Steve Kern came in. They put him together as the Bad Attitude. Then was like go by WCW. Then WCW got sold. Then he just kept working, kept going in independence. Another guy we lost. When was it? Died in 2021. I think a few months after his wife passed away. I always heard about what a nice guy he was. Uh, he was actually married to Bill Dundee's daughter. Excuse me here. Married to Bill Dundee's daughter. Supposedly when Bill Dundee found out, because Bill, being a wrestler himself, was like, "Hey, I don't want my daughter dating or marrying wrestlers." But when he found out that she was seeing Bobby Eaton, it was like, okay, at least it's Bobby Eaton, good guy, no problem with that. Wish I the guy who told the story might have been Jim Cornette, or might have been Dutch Mantel. But anyway, on a trip there was, and this kind of tells you what kind of nice guy he was. The story goes, Bobby and Dennis, Jim Cornette, and Bill Dundee, they were all riding together. Stopped in the town, went to the store to get some fluids, drain some fluids, and pick up more, snacks, beer, whatnot. And everybody came out except for Bobby Eaton. And Dutch Mattel was like, "What's Bobby doing? Bobby doing?" And I think Jim Cornette said, "Well, that guy in there he's talking to, he's talking about how he's down on his luck and stuff like that." So Bobby's in there buying that guy groceries. So he bought the guy some groceries, got in the car, and Dutch Mantel, as they were driving off, looked at Bobby and said, "Hey, Bobby, congratulations. You're going to cause that guy to get robbed." And that totally broke his heart, too. He's like, "Oh, no, don't tell me that." But yeah, like I said, that night he stayed around, and that night in Cornelia, he signed everybody's autographs. Nice smile. I mean, hey, how you doing to everybody, and shook hands with everybody, and didn't seem to have that one bit of an attitude. Like I said, he was really cool. As because I was never like the big autograph seeker, but he was definitely the one I wanted to actually go up and meet. And it's funny because we was talking about elbow drops. Bobby Eaton had a pretty cool looking elbow drop. Of course, he had a cool net breaker. Actually had a pretty cool drop kick from the top rope. And probably the best looking leg drop from the top rope. And knees from the top rope. Just about anything, made just about everything look good, and story is that you have a match with Bobby, and you're not gonna have a bad match with Bobby. When you watch shooting reviews and stuff like that, he's definitely one of the guys that nobody had bad things to say about. When his name popped up, nothing but good things from wrestlers. No ego, no nothing, no anything about that. But like I said, he was really cool. Brad Armstrong was pretty cool. And of all people, just trying to remember back, East member now. Ole Anderson was actually pretty cool, believe it or not. When he came to a Wild Side show, I think it was the Hardcore Hell, maybe. Anyway, he was selling his book there, signing autographs. I bought the book, got the autograph, shook hands with the guy. He was like, "Hey, how you doing, kid?" Yada yada yada. It's actually pretty cool. Um, so that's all the little things that I kind of want to talk about this evening. Now it's up to you guys, man. What, as Cody Rhodes would say, what do you want to talk about? Whoops, wrong button. There we go. God, I gotta get a better producer. One of these days I will get a real producer, not myself. Um, but yeah, definitely looking forward to WWE 2K24. I heard the AEW game wasn't good at all. There's supposed to be another wrestling game from an independent, producer, Basement Games or something like that. That's what they call. It's called the what was it called? The Wrestling Code or something like that. Let's see here. Let me go back here. And I just, you heard a lot about it until here it is. So yes, still no release date uh, announced for this game. It's called the Wrestling Code, made by Virtual Basement. Not sure what else. Let's see what else they've. The Mean Greens, Outlaws of the Old West. I guess some of the games they have produced, but some of the stuff they did put out, and some of the names they said it's going to be part of the game look pretty cool. Yeah, right now the Wrestling Code is not out yet, and so far um, no release date. I know they were very much hyping the game, hyping out the making of, and put out a couple of little videos of the play and everything. But I think it's been almost a year or two. So I think around towards the end of the pandemic, I think, or somewhere around there, they kind of um, they were really hyping it up as a competitor to the 2K wrestling games or the WWE games. Of course, Fight Forever AEW's game came out uh, last year, and from what I heard, I didn't you buy it, Joe? And you said it was like, eh. Um, but like I said, what I'd seen about this Wrestling Code game looks pretty good. I think, of course, the first wrestling game I bought or I didn't buy it. It was a Christmas gift. Um, was pro wrestling on the old Nintendo Entertainment Center. Uh, uh, had Starman and all those other. Uh, they're like kind of copies of other wrestlers, but not not to totally infringe on copyrights or anything like that. Uh, my brother had it first, and he kicked my ass at it using Starman. And I tried being Starman, and he still kicked my ass. Uh, but I finally got NES and had the game, and did pretty well at it. I always remember the winner is you. Then after that, Super NES came out, and I thought, what was it, the Royal Rumble for Super NES and Sega Genesis? Because I had Super NES for a while. Then I went got Sega Genesis. Uh, and at the time, the WWE or WWF Royal Rumble video game was pretty good. Yeah, that's a kicker right there. If it don't play well, it don't matter how good the graphics are and who you got in the game. If it doesn't play well, uh, then your game your game's not going to game's going to be worthless. Uh, Use the example the Legends of Wrestling games. Oh, especially that last one, Legends of Wrestling Showdown. That had not only the classic wrestlers but the classic arenas, but the gameplay, game quality, just graphics wasn't. It was okay at the time, but the gameplay was just god awful. Um, but yeah, it had Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, the Raw game on NES and or Super NES and Sega Genesis was good. Then the N64 came along, and let's see, trying to figure it out. What was it? Was it Midway? Who produced those games? Acclaim. Gosh, I can't. Yes, Acclaim. Um, was making those games and they did pretty good for a while. Then, like I said, uh, yeah, the Legends Showdown, which was made by Acclaim too. Uh, had the Omni, Madison Square Garden, the Cow Palace, all those uh, all those old arenas. Uh, but yeah, for a while, Acclaim made Warzone was actually pretty good. At the time. Then, like I say, the N64 came out, and TKI and THQ started producing wrestling games. Had or actually the first THQ game I guess was uh, WCW versus the World, and that was actually pretty good at the time. Then, like I said, the N64 came out, and it was what was it? WCW versus NWO Revenge or something like that. Oh gosh. Oh, was it? Yeah, the first one for so yeah, I guess the first one for THQ or okay, first one for THQ and AKI, Asmik Ace Entertainment was WCW versus NWO World Tour. Yes, Acclaim did the ECW games, and those were hot garbage. I had the first one. I forgot which one. I think it was it Anarchy or something like that. I'll look back on it later. But yeah, like I said, the first N64 game produced by THQ was WCW versus NWO World Tour. At the time, it kicked ass. The following year was WCW versus NWO Revenge. It kicked ass. Then, for whatever reason, I guess EA Sports said, "Hey, we can make a wrestling game," and um, which EA Sports, we thought was a good idea at the time because they produced or developed the Madden games and all the other sports games. Of course, they should be able to do a pro wrestling game. So WCW left THQ to go to EA Sports. WWE left Acclaim to come to THQ. First one out of the gate on that one was okay. I believe it was WWE. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, wow, did they do the? I guess they did a PlayStation game called Nitro. I don't remember that one. Hmm. I don't remember the WCW Nitro being THQ, but I guess I could be wrong. Or I guess it could have been, AKI, whatever. Anyway, the the first WWF game from THQ was WrestleMania 2000, and at time we were like, wow, they can't get much better than this. Yeah, Nitro set for the EA Sports Nitro. That game, visually, play wise, it was horrible, horrible. Yeah, the backstage assault was horrible as well. But THQ, man, they made WrestleMania 2000. That game kicked ass. Uh, they made a Royal Rumble for the Dreamcast. Um, I didn't play that one because I didn't have a Dreamcast. But the most legendary game, I guess, that came from the N64 was WWF No Mercy. And again, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't get no better than this. I mean, that was probably, hands down, probably one of the best wrestling games. That's got to be on anybody's top 5 list of best wrestling games ever. Top 5, top 10, top 3, as far as wrestling games ever is WWF No Mercy for the N64. Then uh, I guess the N64 kind of ran out. Then here comes the PS3 or PS2, and that came the SmackDown games, which some of them were all right. I mean, um, Here Comes the Pain was pretty good. WWF SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain for PlayStation, it was okay. The the WrestleMania 18 for GameCube was okay. The first Xbox game, the WWF Raw, it played okay, but it was like no storylines or anything like that. It was playable. It was okay. Um, what was the next? Sorry, I'm kind of scrolling through here at the list. Okay, the first Raw for Xbox. Okay, now my memory's clearer now. I forgot they had a Raw 2. Raw 2 was okay. The first WWF Raw for Xbox, garbage. Uh, and there's 2003, Here Comes the Pain, SmackDown for PlayStation 2. That was pretty good. What was that other? Day of Reckoning for the GameCube was pretty good. I did like that one. What was it? What was the other one for the Xbox? The other wrestling game after Raw. Okay, WrestleMania 21. That one sucked. Day of Reckoning 2 with the GameCube was pretty good. Uh, what's the other one? Yeah, I think by the time Xbox 360 came around, they just made SmackDown Raw for both systems. Yeah, I think that's the reason I like the Xbox and the Xbox 360 is because you can put your own music to it, which I hate now that you can't do it any game system. Because I thought it was pretty cool. You can like create a wrestler, then download music to it to the system and use that music for your creator wrestler, and also some of your legends. I remember what was it? One of SmackDown, I guess after they got Hogan back and all that. Especially when it was which one was it? I can't remember now. It might have been, was it 2008 or 2000? Might have been 2007. Let me go back and look. But like one of the SmackDown games, they had ECW and WCW. They had like, you know, I know one of them had Hulk Hogan, and I switched this music from Real American to Eye of the Tiger. Yeah, I skipped Real American, not uh, or no, Voodoo Child. One of that I think that music that they use in Real American. I dropped those and have Hogan come out to Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. Because you could do that with the Xbox 360. Xbox One, you could have done that with. No, wait a minute. Take that back. Nah, I can't remember. No, Xbox One, that's when yeah, 2007, that's what I was thinking. 2007 had all three, ECW, WCW, and WWE. And so, like Sandman, I had him coming out to Enter Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, Man in the Box by Alice in Chains. Yeah. Funk, I had him coming out to, instead of the generic crap that they have for him, I had him coming out to Desperado, because that's what he came out to in ECW. And yeah, I think it was, the Xbox One. That Xbox One and PS4 was, you cannot do, you can't download your music no more, which was depressing. Well, not depressing. It's such a letdown. It's like, you go from Xbox 360 and you do all this stuff, then you go to Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and you're supposed to be able to do all these things, but it looked like they took, like, yeah, Xbox 360, you put music, but Xbox One, you couldn't. Now, if you, um, like if you had, kind of like with PS4, I think if you had Spotify, you can load the Spotify app to your Xbox One or PS4, and you can play the music in the background. Like if you're playing a game, you can play music in the background, but you can't like, incorporate it to like a wrestler's entrance or anything like that. Unless you want to, I did look at one time and say, is there, because I was like, there's got to be a way to get around that. And I looked and looked and looked, and the only thing they said was basically sit there and, like with like your iPod Touch or your laptop, uh, get on Spotify, sing it to your TV or whatever, then press play on the Spotify, and it's stupid, complicated, no fun at all. Now I heard the PC version of the wrestling games you can download the music. I'm not sure about that, but kind of heard that you could, but um, I don't do. I do zilch PC gaming. Didn't do the whole. What was that? Gosh, what was that game that was popular for a long time on PC? Uh, can't remember now. Everybody talked about it. Everybody played it. Everybody played it except for me. World of Warcraft. Yeah, I didn't do no World of Warcraft. See, it popped in my head sometimes. Yeah, like I said, I don't do the PC either. Um, because I think you gotta have a pretty expensive PC to play games to begin with. I mean, if anybody else is watching this, uh, watch this later or whatever, chat me up about this. To get a good PC system, it's going to cost you over. It's going to cost you north of $2,000, and no, uh, I'm not going to say uh, how much my little desktop here cost, but trust me, it's way south, way south of $2,000. It's south of it is south of $1,000. I go a little further. It is south of it is south of $400. I do Amazon on my phone. I don't do Amazon on my PC. I do it on my phone and my tablet because when I was working out of town and uh, especially recently, um, I would instead of leaving my laptop out, I'll go ahead and pack that up because I bring it with me anyway to work. Um, I take my tablet, turn on, you know, Amazon Prime Video, and watch a movie because I don't. Peter Brad played World of Warcraft on PC. Yeah, I had a few coworkers at the time. That's all they talked about. you, you were legendary. Yeah, I never played World of Warcraft or any of those PC games. Um, like I said, I don't play online hardly at all. I remember getting the first Xbox, and uh, that's I think the first one that had you can play people online, and I don't know how old this kid was. I'm gonna say probably like 8 or something like that. Play this kid on Madden football. He kicked my ass, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna find other friends that's got Xbox Live, and play with them. Not uh, some total strangers just kicked my ass. I did play other people on the golf game. What was it? Pebble Beach Golf on the first Xbox. Uh, I did good at that game. Uh, God, I hate to get all mushy here, but you know, kind of reminds me of Ricky. Madden football. He can kick anybody's ass drunk, drunk, sober, asleep. He kick everybody's ass at Madden. Um, but at baseball games, I got one baseball games, but Madden, I might as well just might as well just kick the ball, play dead, kick the ball back to him, play dead. Uh, But like I said, did not play did not play WoW, World of Warcraft. But I mean, I know everybody called it WoW. Like I said, I did have coworkers who played it and loved it. Stay up, you know, some of them would stay up all night and play World of Warcraft. And I was like, that's not for me. Not right now. Not with the PC I had then. Which I mean, I probably could have. I don't know. I had a pretty good PC then. Um, but I don't know how suitable it would be to play a game. Because they always tell me they had to get little upgrades here and there, and I'm like, I'm too cheap for that. Yeah, you think you're good until you play other people, and not to make fun of them, because you know, hats off to them. I wish I could do it. Uh, you play somebody online, a lot of times that's the only thing they do is play video games. So, almost I won't say 24/7, but uh, gosh, I think I had a coworker had a son who would play, video games like 13 hours straight or something like that. Uh, and that might be on a weekday, not on the weekend. But so they're perfectly trained to kick your ass at any video game. Uh, Me and another coworker one time, uh, yeah, watching Ricky playing Madden, yeah, exactly like a college or like a you were the high school team and he was the pro team, basically. He just uh stumped a mud hole in you and walked it dry. The baseball, I did get a baseball with him. But yeah, me and another coworker, I think it was GTA 4. Uh, and I had it for the 360 and played online with him and a group of other people. Oh my gosh, that was embarrassing. I was like, no, I don't think I'm built for you guys. And I think at that time too that you could have got like uh basically a game controller on steroids or something like that. Do little things here and there. Supposedly, I don't quote me on that. Don't I am not saying that's the truth, but that's one of the things I heard is people having souped up game controllers and all that for online playing. I know I didn't. I had a plain old Xbox game controller that came in the box, and one time that when one went out or something like that, I had to get another one. Got the plain old controller that said Xbox, Microsoft Xbox. I wish I had the money for a PS5, but I just maybe one of these days I can have more time to play video games, invest some time in video games to justify buying a PS5. But right now, I just can't, especially as much as they're selling them for. And the new Xbox, I don't hear anybody talking about that. I think everybody kind of, from what I hear, everybody's anybody that did have one didn't like it or whatever. Then you got the what's that Nintendo Switch or Twitch or whatever. That might be within my price range, but play Mario Kart and whatever other Nintendo games they get out now, which I think the Switch or the Twitch, wherever it is, or Switch. Which one is it? See, I'm so out of touch with this. Gosh, I'm old. But apparently that's one of the highest rated, highest selling game systems now. Apparently Nintendo's doing very well as of lately, as the last few years. Not saying PS5 is not doing good. I think they're doing well for themselves too. Xbox is a distant third. Yeah, okay, so Switch. Have you ever played it yet? Have you played anything on it? Oh, there it is. Let me go on the old Google machine here. So I guess you can play just about anything, but how much does one cost? Oh, wow. Okay. So they're, I guess, between $300 to $500. Just depends on what if you get some kind of bundle or not. Yeah, I heard people love Mario Kart. Yeah, the N64 classic Mario Kart was used to be freaking fun. Um, and of course, some of us had a classic Nintendo, classic NES system. Uh, I say not the classic refurbished. You download. I'm talking about the original one that came with Super Mario 2 and Duck Hunt. Used to play a hell of a lot of Duck Hunt. My dad even played Duck Hunt. Uh, let's see what. Yeah, he'd always play Duck Hunt, and he'll play the baseball game with me. What else? Yeah, I was wanting to get one of those uh, the classic NES where you download games to it, or it comes with so many games and you download more to it. But again, it's one of those things I just didn't. I procrastinated and still not bought one. But yeah, I might. Maybe that might be a birthday present to myself. Get a Nintendo Switch. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, about to call it a night here. Tomorrow I gotta head to Carolinas and meet with some people. Meet with the Crockett's. Ole Anderson, he's finishing up with me here in Georgia, so I gotta visit Crockett, see if I can do some damage up there. Just kidding. Karen, I want one too. Karen, why don't you buy us both one? Buy yourself one and buy me one. You played a lot of Duck Hunt and Super Mario 2, didn't you? Yeah, one of these days I gotta figure out because I know I don't think I'm in or what's coming out on YouTube and what I'm doing is not me buys. I'm poor. No, you buys one. You make those big. You make the big bucks. I'm poor. I don't. I might work a lot, but doesn't mean I have a lot of money. Okay, I probably don't make enough to buy two of them. Are you talking about the Switch? You talking about the Switch or the classic refurbished NES system that has the download the games? Do they even sell those anymore? Yep. Oh, come on. Oh, hmm. Yes, I had that game. I had that one. Speaking of wrestling games, I can't remember. Speaking of classic NES wrestling games, did you ever have a Tecmo Pro Wrestling? Tecmo Wrestling was cool as hell. Who said buy her one? Pita bread. Anyway, but yeah, uh, the Tecmo, of course, Tecmo Bowl was awesome. Tecmo Wrestling, the Tecmo Wrestling game. I forgot what it was called. Was it Tecmo something? Yeah, Tecmo World Wrestling. That game was smooth. What? He was sending yours in the mail. Yeah, keep looking. Don't hold your breath. Don't freeze to death. Wait for it. Did I mention how cold it is down here? But yes, I remember playing the Friday the 13th for the original NES system. Should say original NES system. But yeah, I don't. But yeah, like I said, the Tecmo Wrestling for NES was awesome. That was probably I played the hell out of that game. I'm, it's nostalgia. I mean, I'm pretty sure none of those games hold up too well. Um, it'll be like when the first PlayStation came out and you probably play Pac-Man on something. Yeah, Pac-Man was fun. If you play it as nostalgia, you'll play the hell out of it. But oh, the old WCW game on there. I remember that one not being that good. Yeah, the first WCW games were NES and Super NES. Was not good at the time, but I will say if I can, let's see if I can do something here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like now those games are probably hard to play. I mean, if you thinking it's gonna be, it holds up good, but I'm pretty sure it'd be kind of unfulfilling to play now that like I said, the 2K games, horrible games. Yeah, the old WCW game, those were horrible. I remember renting the first on the classic NES. Uh, I remember renting the that WCW game, and it was I played it for like 30 minutes and was happy to return that one. Rewinded it and everything. Uh, and I remember the WCW NES or Super NES game. I think me and you and Ricky rented that one at Blockbuster and played it, and it sucked. The only cool thing about it was the little promos that you know, kind of scroll down and have everybody do. I think we're more amazed by that than we were the gameplay. The gameplay was god awful. Graphics were god awful. Thank God back then we was able to rent games before you can buy them, or sometimes rent games, beat them, and just send them back. But yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, I think we just kept scrolling, looking at everybody's goofy, generic, bad little promos, and that was the funnest part of the whole game. And we're like, man, this they don't only do promos this bad on TV, which I'm trying to remember. I don't even think I think they had the same voice guy do every one of them. I don't think they actually had the wrestler's voice on it, or they could have. I can't remember. But like I said, Tecmo World Wrestling, it was a bomb. Sorry, didn't mean to eat ice. Tongue on everybody. Uh, but yes, Tecmo like Tecmo. See if you can find Tecmo World Wrestling on that thing and try to play it. So I remember having that game, and I played the. I think I wore that game out. And of course, Tecmo Bowl was awesome. I don't think Tecmo made a hockey game. They probably could have. Yeah, so yeah, if you want to try to see how things hold up, try Tecmo Wrestling. Anyway, like I said, I got an early morning uh leave time. Well, I gotta leave early tomorrow morning. Head to South Carolina, talk to the Crockett's, see if I can get a start date there. Cause Oli, he's finishing up with me in Georgia. Just kidding. Nah, I do gotta go to South Carolina tomorrow. Uh, leaving here pretty early to get there. Uh, hopefully, depending on traffic, around 8 tomorrow morning. So, gonna call it a night for the night. Appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Joining in the conversations. Again, share this with friends. Share it with enemies. Hit the like button. Um, if you watch this, of course, it won't be live now. If you watch this, drop a comment. Tell me what you think. Also, be a champ and hit that subscribe button. Until then, you folks have a good one and take it easy. And see y'all next week.